Bronx place. A quiet evening. It was a cold January night in the Bronx. The wind was strong, making it hard for anyone to stay outside for long. The Wallace Avenue apartment building stood tall and strong, showing its age, but still housing many families inside. People were relaxing, kids loafed under their blankets, and parents were finishing up their evening routines. No one expected their peaceful night to turn into a nightmare. Smiles Park. At 1:37 a.m., a quiet crackling sound started on the top floor. It sounded like wind hitting a window, but it was much worse in the small space between the ceiling and the roof. An old electrical wire had broken. It caused a spark that set the dry insulation on fire. The fire grew fast. It burned through the dust and debris that had built up over the years. Smoke started to creep into the apartments below. At first, it was a slight burning smell, but soon thick, choking smoke filled the air. The alarm that failed. The people living on the top floor noticed the danger first. Mr. Louis Herrera, a retired teacher, was reading in his living room when he saw smoke under his door. He quickly put a wet towel on the gap to stop the smoke, but when he opened the window, thick black smoke poured in. Realizing the building was on fire, he banged on his nearest door, shouting, "Fire! Fire! Get out!" The building's old alarm system did not work. People woke up to Herrera's cries. Families grabbed their loved ones and ran to the stairwell, only to find it full of smoke. The fire takes over. The fire moved quickly. It spread through the space over the ceiling and broke through the roof. The strong wind carried embers to nearby buildings, causing more fires. When the firefighters arrived at 1:50 a.m., the top floor was already burning and the flames were spreading. Over 200 firefighters worked to stop the fire. The strong wind made their job harder. Captain Sarah Donnelly, a firefighter with 15 years of experience, said it was one of the worst fires she had ever seen. It wasn't just a fire, she said. It was like a monster. Every time we thought we had it under control, the wind made it worse. The human cost. The fire brought out both tragedy and heroism. Maria Alvarez, a young mother, used her body to protect her two children as they escaped down the smoky stairs. She saved their lives but was badly burned and sent to the hospital. Others were not so lucky. The Rodriguez family, who lived on the top floor, could not escape. The fire trapped them in their apartment, and despite the firefighters' efforts, they did not survive. Their loss deeply affected the community. What caused the fire? Investigators looked through the burned building to find out what started the fire. They found that old broken wiring in the ceiling caused it, but they also uncovered a bigger problem. The landlord, Vijay Prakash, had ignored many complaints about unsafe wiring and broken fire alarms. Former tenants said Prakash only cared about collecting rent. He didn't care about us. One resident said he ignored our warnings. The fire was not just an accident, it could have been prevented if the landlord had fixed the problems, helping each other. After the fire, the community came together to help the families who lost everything. Schools became emergency shelters, and people donated food, clothes, and money. The Red Cross helped with immediate needs, but recovery would take a long time. Survivors struggled with the trauma. "I keep seeing the flames and hearing the screams," said Maarif from her hospital bed. "It's something I will never forget." Fires across the country. The Bronx fire was not the only tragedy across the US. Other fires were causing heartbreak. In California, a huge fire burned through the San Gabriel Mountains, forcing thousands to leave their homes. Investigators found that someone had started the fire on purpose. In Oregon, a wildfire destroying homes after a campfire got out of control. The dry summer heat made the fire spread quickly. In Chicago, a fire started in a warehouse and spread to homes nearby. Faulty machinery caused the blaze, which killed people and displaced families. In New York, weeks before the Bronx fire, a historic church in Brooklyn burned down. Security cameras showed someone fleeing the scene, suggesting arson, demanding justice. The fire led to public outrage. People demanded better safety laws and strict penalties for landlords who neglected their buildings. Vijay Prakash faced lawsuits and criminal charges, including manslaughter and reckless endangerment. The city also updated its fire safety rules. All department buildings had to install modern fire alarms and sprinkler systems. While these changes could not save the victims of the Wallace Avenue fire, they offered hope for preventing future tragedies. Rebuilding together, the Bronx community worked hard to heal. People formed support groups and pushed for better housing laws. Though the fire took so much, it also showed the strength of the community. Years later, the Wallace Avenue site became a memorial park to honor those who died. The park reminded everyone of the importance of safety and accountability. Lessons for the future. The Bronx fire was a terrible tragedy, but it taught important lessons. It showed the need for strict safety standards and responsible property management. It also highlighted the strength of people when they come together in tough times. As we remember the victims, we must work to prevent such tragedies in the future. Ensuring safety and accountability is the best way to honor those who we lost.